Japan.
Get the fuck out of here. We don't need this. We don't need a history lesson on the Pokemon franchise every Pokemon related video, okay? We know what Pokemon is, okay? Everybody knows. I mostly play the main series Pokemon games, obviously, and I almost never play the spin-off Pokemon games. I played Pokemon Go, obviously, and I've played some of Pokemon Ranger when I was a kid, but I only remember them from that one episode of the anime, and Pokemon Mystery Dungeon wasn't really in my interests. I was going to talk about Legends Arceus in this video, but it turns out that's a main series game, so I'm gonna save it for another day. So 2 years ago, I did make a video about Pokemon Battle Revolution, another Pokemon spin-off. That video sucks, don't watch it. Pokemon Battle Revolution is a Gen 4 battle simulator. And that's it. It's a game where you only point the Wii Remote at the screen for hours. Do you want one muscly arm? Because that's what you're gonna get with this game. There's no exploration even though Colosseum and XD exist on the GameCube already. And they're playable on the Wii, so why do we have to navigate through menus until our arm goes numb? The only redeeming quality is that you can move your own Pokemon from the Gen 4 Pokemon games, but Pokemon Stadium already did that, but the battling is just boring. And I end up falling asleep every time I try to play it. It was fun when I was a kid and I played it a lot, but now it's only good as a shelf piece. This next one isn't really a game per se, but Pokédex 3DS Pro is straight up a Gen 5 Pokédex, like legit.
You now have the ability to view over 640 Pokemon in beautiful 3D graphics.
Pokédex toys did exist at the time, but they were made by companies like Tiger Electronics, so they weren't exactly detailed. Yeah, nowadays we have free iPhone Pokédex apps, Bulbapedia, or books if you're a nerd. But yeah, this is a legit Pokédex made by Nintendo and Game Freak. Only for Gens 1 through 5 though. There's only 647 in total Pokédex entries, and that's including alternate forms if the Pokemon has them. Including all of the unknown forms.
Unknown C! Unknown D! Unknown E! Unknown F! Unknown G!
And this was an era of Pokemon where they didn't serve everyone up 5 courses of DLC stew, so there was no Pokemon past Gen 5. And yeah, to be honest, I wasn't expecting there to be DLC anyway, because this was right after the Wii and DSi eras. A time where updates and patches and everything to do were not a thing, because the games were practically finished, and the mystery gifts were built into the games anyway. So we didn't need a million updates to make the game perform as well as I do in bed. If they wanted to do another Pokédex app featuring the Gen 6 Pokemon, they would have just copied and pasted the original models and charged another $15 for another pointless app that's already programmed into the game, with no updates. Like, these games also didn't really have DLC either. I know that's a hypothetical situation, but for example, the Smash Brothers DLCs being made free in the next game, it doesn't give me hope for what Nintendo would have done for this. But anyway, since it's a Pokédex, it has a voice. And that voice being Mark Thompson, who has been part of the Pokemon series since the Johto arc of the original anime. And he's obviously the voice of the Unova Pokédex in the anime.
Zebstrika, the Thunderbolt Pokemon, and the evolved form of Blitzel.
Samurott, the formidable Pokemon, and the final evolved form of Oshawott. Simipour, the geyser Pokemon, and the evolved form of Panpour.
Drillbur, Conkeldurr, Timpole.
Oh, that's how you pronounce it. Unfortunately, he doesn't read the entry like in the anime, so it kind of sucks. 0 out of 10. You can also change the languages very easily in the settings, so you can learn how to pronounce Pokemon names in German if you want.
Ku Incognito, Golking, Pantimos.
I mean, I did say earlier that it wasn't a game, but that's not entirely true. There's Pokemon Challenge. It's just various Pokemon multiple choice questions like, who's this Pokemon? Who's this Pokemon but Pokédex entries? And guess the unknown forms. It is actually really fun at times and does test your Pokemon knowledge. There's also a whole Gen 5 move dex, as well as a list of every Pokemon that can know said move. AR Viewer is exactly like the AR cards that came with every 3DS, but with Pokemon instead. Scan one of the codes and it spawns a really small 3D model, and it's kind of garbage. I bought this right before the eShop closed. So yeah, you can't actually buy this anymore. And I'm glad I own a piece of Pokemon history though. We're all just a bunch of suckers, aren't we? But where did that suckage start? Pokemania was all the rage in the 90s. You couldn't escape it. People didn't know what to make of Pokemon back then. It was out of control.
It's Pokemania everywhere, from Burger King to the king of internet retailing.
If you guys don't know what Pokemon is, you're in need of some serious remedial toy education.
Looking back at these news reports and B-roll footage of people back in 1999, they really had no idea how big this actually was gonna be.
This could be this year's Christmas boom.
But some experts say the entire Pokemon phenomenon is the enemy.
In my opinion, parents should not let their kids watch Pokemon, play Pokemon, buy Pokemon cards.
And even parents were put in front of cameras and asked to explain what Pokemon was and had absolutely no idea.
Can you explain Pokemon to me?
Very vaguely. They have power balls, that's all I know.
If it sounds like the kids are speaking another language, they are. The language of Pokemon.
Pocket Monster, the spiral. And it stands for what? Male fertility.
But these parents are actually pretty cool.
Christina Levy spent $1,000 last month on Pokemon. Her kids call her Pokemom.
It's a really social game, socially interacts with all the kids in the neighborhood. So as opposed to sitting in front of a television watching cartoons, he's interacting with kids. So I really am a fan of the game.
And schools were just banning Pokemon cards because they thought that this was the equivalent of spending your life savings at a Vegas craps table.
I don't have anything against them, I just don't want them to, distract us from what our job here is.
School officials are finding that Pokemon cards are responsible for fistfights.
Oh, okay, well that's actually a reason. But soon enough, a game was released that deleted the need to collect Pokemon cards physically. Pokemon Trading Card Game. The game. For the Game Boy.
Girls can play this. Why can't it be called Game Boy Girl?
This game solely exists as an excuse for parents so they don't have to spend thousands of their own dollars on cardboard rectangles and binders. And now that I'm an adult, that seems pretty smart, actually. It's actually a free-roaming 8-bit style game, sort of like Red and Blue, but the walking animation stops halfway through. And since it's sort of a spin-off, it's not as well made. They didn't really put as much oomph into this one as they would a main series game. But it has an 8-badge system while you actively run into your rival that's always one step ahead of you. Then you go and beat a Pokemon League at the end. Yeah, it's the same formula technically as the games that it's spinning off, but instead of catching Pokemon and using them in turn-based battles, you play the actual Pokemon trading card game. And it actively teaches you how to play the most basic form of the Pokemon TCG from the first generation. It tells you what you can and can't play so you can't cheat. You can actually go in any order of the gym that you want with things that you have to do before you can challenge the gym sometimes, like having to beat 3 other NPCs in order for them to dox the location of the gym leader. And after you beat an NPC, you're actually rewarded with packs of cards from sets of the time. There's base set, jungle, and fossil expansions all within the game. And I'm definitely gonna keep playing this one. Since it's on the Switch now, I can finally finish it on my own time. And I recommend it if you want to learn how to actually play the game for yourself. And yes, I have unopened packs of cards, okay? Here's my Obsidian Flames pack. Let's see, this has been in my collection for a while. I know it's one of the newer sets, but it has been in here for a while. I haven't really thought about opening it until a Pokemon related video. Since I don't really use these, here you go. There you go, you're welcome. Ooh, Smoliv, Pidgey, Combi, Varoom. Is that a vacuum cleaner? I don't know. Skarmory. Ooh, Espeon. Pretty cute. Sharpedo. Seismitoad. Bonsly. Gita. Okay. Nothing really interesting in there. Guess it's the Gita Reverse Hollow, but worst champion ever. Do you like to brush your teeth? Well, you can do that. But with Pikachu.
Make daily toothbrushing time more fun with Pokemon Smile.
Pokemon Smile is a toothbrushing game. Tool? Government face copier that makes your children want to brush their teeth every night before they piss the bed. When this was first announced in a Nintendo Direct a couple years ago, I was more confused than anything. Kids nowadays can't even brush their teeth without Pokemon being involved, and yeah, it works. Yes, I know it's made for children, but it's also made for me, okay? It uses the front-facing camera to actually track your toothbrush as you brush the indicated parts of your mouth, causing your Pokemon to attack the purple goo invading your gums. Looks like grape jelly. And at the end, you get to catch the Pokemon that you saved from the cavity-causing purple jelly. Weirdest thing I've said today. You basically fill up a Pokedex entry every time you brush your teeth, but only Gen 1 Pokemon though, because of course it is. I know a 23-year-old adult shouldn't be playing this, who can just set a timer instead of using an app made for children. But fuck you, it's way better to see yourself with a Charmander hat on than it is to stare at your ugly face in the mirror.
Okay, so Pokemon Smile is kind of weird. I love the chibi, like, art style. It doesn't allow you to, like, spit, like, at any time during the brushing. Which, you do get a lot of saliva in your mouth when you brush your teeth. And then it, like, gets angry with you when you leave the camera to go spit. Okay, I have to preload my toothbrush with everything before, because it doesn't even give you time. Like, it gives you 5 seconds to prepare, okay?
It makes brushing your teeth fun, and I have no problem with that. Even if you're a smelly old adult destined to never have any children of their own. You guys remember Pixelmon? You know, the Minecraft mod? No, not that one. Yes, that one, yes. The old version that made all the Pokemon blocks. That is what this game reminds me of. Pokemon Quest was technically the first Pokemon game ever on the Nintendo Switch, but it's a completely free game with a blocky art style. Your player heads for Tumble Cube Island to find some hidden treasure from a long-dead civilization, or have to go do some grave robbing while befriending some blocky Pokemon. Sounds like fun. The game is okay. For a free game, I didn't expect much, but it's pretty fun, I guess. Again, these kinds of games aren't really for me. You go quest to quest, beating waves of wild Pokemon, then you have to fight a boss Pokemon. That's it. There's skill trees for your different friend Pokemon, so it's a bit of strategy and planning. You can use this pot to make various soups to attract more Pokemon to your camp. And you get decorations to increase various status effects like EXP. But you don't exactly need to play it at all. Besides operating the menus, it can basically play itself. You can just set it to autoplay and you can continue doing your laundry. This is another Pokemon app, but made for sleeping. Pokemon Sleep is obviously a sleep tracker. Depending on your tossing and turning throughout the night, it gives you a score ranging from dozing, snoozing, or slumbering. For it to start tracking though, sleep has to be at least 90 minutes long before research is even counted. And you only have 2 sleep sessions per day. How they track this information is a little sketchy though. You have to keep the phone on all night while connected to the charger, on your bed, next to your head. A combination that increases your risk of a fire.
I'm just trying to understand what it says here. How did you die? I used Pokemon Sleep.
Thankfully, my phone doesn't get very hot while it's running this, but some of you out there have some really shitty phones, so I don't really recommend downloading this at all. And this game is also targeted to children. Maybe we shouldn't put fire hazards next to our children's heads as they sleep. And while it's collecting all of this information, it's also recording all of the sounds around it. That does include fans, by the way. It will constantly just record the fan noises if you do have one next to your head, which I know a lot of people do, including me in the summer, which is when I recorded some of this footage. And just like Pokemon Smile, every time you sleep, you collect Pokedex entries. It is fun to see what Pokemon you get in the morning depending on the sleep score, but I haven't really used it in a while, and I don't think I'll continue using it because it's really not safe to use, and it's not really for me. This last one is weird. Pokemon Puzzle League is just an ugly game. It's the only other game that I've played, at least, that's based off the Pokemon anime. The other one being Pokemon Yellow. And I'm sorry, I just don't enjoy playing it. To be honest, when it boots up, it looks like a ROM hack or a cheaply made Flash game. Y8.com, anyone? It starts with an animated cutscene with Ash getting a Zoom call from Professor Oak telling him that he was selected as one of the challengers in the Pokemon Puzzle League. Then Ash says,
You are selected as one of the challengers.
I'll go sign up. because...
Ash, you don't need to. Oak already did that. That's why he's calling you. Then we're finally off to the Pokemon Puzzle League Village. Weird name for a town that's named after the game that's most popular in it. Pokemon Puzzle League is sort of like Tetris Attack, where you gotta match rows of the same Pokemon type together. My brain just can't process it very well. If you like it, good on you, but I feel like I need to turn the video games off now after playing that and go out and, I don't know, touch some grass. I mean, I would touch grass. It's snowy. I like Harry Potter. Can you tell? Ugh. In general, I love franchises I can insert myself into. Most recently, I really got into Star Trek, but obviously one of my favorite franchises of all time is the Wizarding World. And calling it Harry Potter World just doesn't make sense because he's not the only wizard in the franchise, you dummy.
Potter, 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 Potter.
So when Hogwarts Legacy was announced 3 years ago, I was obviously excited. We are finally getting the Hogwarts letter we've been waiting for since we were all 11 years old. Like, look at this photo of me on Halloween when I was 10. I have been a fan of this franchise my entire life. I love both Harry Potter and Fantastic Beasts. The first one, not the other two. They're shit. But I just love the Wizarding World overall, mostly for escapism from this hellhole we call life. But I also hate it at the same time. Because I know in the back of my mind when reading the books, watching the movies are just simply holding one of my noble collection wands. The person who wrote these stories hates me and the people I love for no other reason than just wanting to live their lives.
I'm here for all of the witches.
But I'm not talking about human rights hating TERFs, so let's just focus on Harry Potter for right now. And since I've been a fan of the series for almost my entire life, I have accumulated some stuff. All my books right here, then I have some necklaces and stuff I got off Etsy. I think I got this for Christmas one year. All my movies. Then this is cool. This is my most recent thing. I turned my unofficial Harry Potter spellbook into an actual cool looking spellbook with reflective spines and stuff. And I have a bunch of Noble Collection wands that are honestly a waste of money. Waste of money, waste of money, waste of money, waste of money, waste of money. And obviously I have some video games. Every Harry Potter movie has had a video game based on it at some point. I would be drowning in Harry Potter games if I did them all today, so I'm only doing about 10. Some of them are good, some of them are just really bad, and some are just weird.
Inflators.
But out of all of the Harry Potter games on the market, which one should we start with? What, not what you were expecting? Harry Potter Puzzles and Spells. You complete puzzles to unlock new spells, collect fantastic beasts, mix potions, all kinds of magical fun things. To complete said puzzles, you have to get a certain amount of things in a given amount of tries. Could be either the house crests, beans, platform 9 3/4 tickets, or just chocolate frogs. And all the stages are different scenes from the movies. I mean, I barely got through the Philosopher's Stone, but I'm assuming it could go as far as Deathly Hallows Part 2, but I don't care enough to bother.
Nice work.
These character models make me uncomfortable. Oh look, you can edit your avatar, who I affectionately named Trash. And this is what Trash looks like. Ew. And get this, you can put banners behind your character and there's a number of pride flags, including the trans one. Does she know about this? And if she doesn't, don't tell her. We need to keep this a secret between us girlies. Shh. This one really wasn't bad at all. It doesn't try to trick you in any way on what's going on, unlike some iOS games.
Have you ever seen an ad online for a game, but then when you download that game, it looks nothing like the ad?
It's a good Candy Crush clone for Harry Potter fans, and just like Candy Crush, it's hella addictive. You know, I'll gladly keep this game on my phone until I need more memory space, and then I'll delete it. Okay, fine, let's move on to a more well-known game then. Harry Potter and the Philosopher's Stone on the Game Boy Advance. Tricked you. Philosopher's Stone on the GBA is a top-down RPG in the same vein as the Game Boy Legend of Zelda's. It was also distributed by EA Games. More like You go room to room, learning spells. Yeah, that.
Right.
And fighting... What are these? Aliens? I never really thought about aliens existing in the wizarding world. Would they have magic? If they don't, would wizards consider them muggles? And if the Wizarding World's universe muggles have their own first contact situation with said magical aliens, then would the regular wizards integrate with muggles? I have so many questions. Harry walks painfully slowly. The attack button is delayed, so you easily get hit by fast-moving enemies. And I hate it. Moving on. And this next game technically no longer exists. Just like Puzzles and Spells being a Candy Crush ripoff.
I want everything to be perfect for my Dudley's special day.
Harry Potter Wizards Unite is an absolute Pokemon Go ripoff. I can't play it anymore since it shut down in January 2022. I did play this game when it came out, and I don't really remember much about it since I deleted it straight after. Unlike Pokemon Go, where you can catch the Pokemon and use said data in other Pokemon games via Pokemon Home, with Wizards Unite, I was just wasting my limited amount of data to just really do nothing. And the trailers for it looked better than the game turned out to be. So that's probably why they didn't stick around very long.
I am Madam Hooch, your teacher.
No, you ain't!
This game is not great. Philosopher's Stone on the PS1 is not the best game to look at. Are these supposed to be people or malnourished Muppets? And the low quality of the graphics gave birth to this.
Hello, Harry, it's me, Hagrid.
No, you ain't!
This is the very game that the Hagrid meme comes from, and I hate him because he sends an 11-year-old boy over pits of lava to gather
fire seeds
for a carnivorous, flying, fire-breathing dragon.
Welcome to my home, Harry. It's small, but still roomier than your cupboard under the stairs, eh?
So anyway, at the start we get a storybook introduction summarizing the beginning of the first book.
For the next 11 years, Harry lived with his dreadful step-parents, the Dursleys.
Step-parents? I'm pretty sure it's his aunt and uncle, but I wouldn't know from what source material to get that information from. Where would we go for that for the fact check? Yeah, these are the same slides from the GBA game, just reused, upscaled, and put into a book animation. And I'm actually a fan of this old art style. Bing, bang, boom, we're in the main hall, and Dumbledore, for some reason, personally tells me the school announcements that he's supposed to stay in the Great Hall.
Welcome to Hogwarts School of Witchcraft and Wizardry. I am Albus Dumbledore, your headmaster. The third-floor corridor is out of bounds to everyone who does not wish to suffer a most painful death.
Yeah, Harry, you can explore it. Except don't, because you'll fucking die.
It's a puzzle collectathon platformer where you go around the castle progressing through the story and learning new spells.
Keep trying. Oh dear. That was good. Excellent.
Right.
It really makes me feel like a true wizard. And after you learn the spells, you have to complete these long, empty dungeons with badly controlled platforming. And you know the whole,
Hogwarts is full of secrets, Harry, so search behind every door. But keep in mind, not all secrets are rewarding.
Almost every door is locked unless you're actively completing the story. It really isn't a good game by any means, but I can't completely knock it because it's Harry Potter and it's fucking weird. Okay, I've been looking at Philosopher's Stone for the majority of this video and I'm getting tired of it, so let's move on to something different. Lego Harry Potter Years 1 through 4. Look, Lego games are good, okay? But they can just be a snooze fest sometimes. That's why I haven't been able to do another Lego games video. They're just so similar and boring. I just felt like falling asleep through the majority of the beginning levels because the Philosopher's Stone and Chamber of Secrets are the most boring in the series to me. It does only take about 2 hours to finish 1 year. It's not too bad if you want to get to the better movies like Prisoner of Azkaban. That is until your game glitches and this troll spawns in front of this door, preventing you from continuing. And the customization is pretty lame. I wanted to make some Fantastic Beasts characters because they don't really have a Lego game besides the Lego Dimensions story pack. But out of all the options, who was I able to make? I was able to make Ezra Miller.
A guy in that bar declared himself as a Nazi. I have it on film and he attacked me.
Okay, this next one is also a weird one. This is Harry Potter and the Deathly Hallows Part 2 for 2011 Java and Brew cell phones. Look, I would say it sounds like garbage, but how can I rate silence? It looks more like an SNES game than anything. And obviously, I can't play this, but judging by the footage alone, I don't want to. Puzzles and Spells was good, so let's see if there's any other gems on the iPhone.
Hi, I'm Bonnie Wright. And I'm Ivana Lynch. And we're here to tell you about a game that lets you experience the magic of Hogwarts for yourself.
Starting it up, we get a really well-made animated intro.
Congratulations. We are pleased to inform you that you have been accepted at Hogwarts School of Witchcraft and Wizardry.
And you can design your own character, choose your own house, and finally get to explore Hogwarts. Only horizontal, though. How could this possibly go wrong?
And now I can't afford it, can I? Look. We've run out of points. Out of energy. 1 point of energy recharges every 4 minutes. Wait for your energy to recharge or buy 30 more now. Yeah, I think I'll wait.
Yeah, it's wonderful, amazing, dare I say, magical. Yes, I love the magic of long wait times. So I, of course, deleted this from my phone and swore to never speak of it again. Lego Harry Potter years 5 through 7. This one has to be the superior one out of the two. But unfortunately, they're the same game, but based on the most interesting movies. And the graphics are way better to look at. Everything except one thing. Oh, Jesus! For some reason, they made the pads to activate the character customization so bright that you can't see anything. What is this? We have to go back to Ezra Miller now.
I claim my 9th Amendment rights to not be unlawfully persecuted for a crime of no designation. Disorderly conduct being something I am unguilty of. You want to fight? Is that the deal?
Harry Potter Magic Awakened is everything Hogwarts Mystery should have been. The art style is really nice and looks like the updated book covers. Professor McGonagall kind of looks like a skeleton though.
Welcome to Hogwarts!
You can freely move around areas you're currently in, and there's cutscenes.
I've always been different. I can't explain it, but strange things happen when I'm around. It doesn't bother me, not anymore. I'm used to the stares, the whispers.
And there's voice acting.
I suppose you want to know my name. Fine. It's Cassandra Vole. Happy?
I'll find right where you belong by looking between your ears. What the hell is that?
It is very impressive for a mobile game. And yeah, unfortunately, it did take up a lot of memory on my phone. It's really a League of Legends type card game where each card you play is a different spell.
Spiders.
Incendio.
Inflatus.
Well, well. Someone knows how to duel.
They have these really cute animations for every one of them, and the spiders have to be my favorite. I love it. Don't get me wrong, the game is really well made, but it's not really my thing. So if you like card game based combat, then this is the game for you. Obviously, I wanted to save this for last. I played the PS4 version that I checked out from my local library. I'm supporting my local library, folks, not a turf. Take that, just kidding. I had to cover up the library's logos so I didn't dox myself. This is the game every Harry Potter fan has been waiting for. Hogwarts Legacy is an immersive, open-world RPG. The character you make is a new 5th-year student who holds the key to an ancient secret magic that threatens to tear the wizarding world apart. So I guess it's pretty normal for 15-year-olds to get manipulated by older men to save the world with their mysterious magical powers. The wizarding world really isn't safe for anybody, is it? You could just be walking to Charms class on a normal Monday afternoon, and a huge fucking snake with a literal death stare comes around the corner and kills you. And speaking of not safe for anyone, the game starts with a man getting eaten by a dragon, making them see death and traumatizing them to the point where they can now see thestrals. Like, damn bro, I'm just trying to go to school. We can finally experience and explore the grounds of Hogwarts for the first time. The castle and its grounds take inspiration from both the books and the movies, but set in the 1800s and not the 80s and 90s. The designers put so much detail into this. You could literally read lines from the books and they will line up completely. And I'm not going to show much of the story, if at all, because you should probably play the game for yourself if you already haven't. I picked Hufflepuff, of course, because we live in a literal greenhouse and grow so many herbs. So if you don't like Hufflepuff, your loss. More for us, I guess. And you can go to Azkaban in an exclusive mission. And I obviously played a little bit of the other houses, and I loved the detail.
You have a big day ahead of you tomorrow. And get I shall be back in the morning to collect you for your first class. I shall be back in the morning to collect you for your first.
We don't really see much of the Hufflepuff and Ravenclaw common rooms in the books or movies, so it is really cool to witness them for the first time in explorable 3D space. But before that, you can choose between either a witch or a wizard in the position of the main character. The customization is heavily extensive. You can choose between a more feminine or masculine voice, and said voices are played by Amelia Gething and Sebastian Croft, who I know from Heartstopper. And yes, I do only hear Ben every time I hear the male character talk.
I'm eager to get to Hogsmeade. You know, if you're trying to keep it quiet, you should probably stop acting so gay there.
What in Merlin's name are you doing?
Ugh, tuss, peculiar Poppy. Worried about a worthless little rodent?
Her name is Persephone!
Her name is Persephone!
That's really not funny.
What's that you've got there?
Might this sudden visit to the Wand Maker have something to do with our mutual pursuit?
I have no idea what you're talking about.
That repository is my birthright!
You don't have to be such a bitch about it.
Oh, and my favorite part has to be flying on a broom. You can explore so much of the map very easily while you're just flying around on your broomstick and marking those flue flames. And just FYI, if you only have a PS4 like I do, prepare for slow loading screens and slow loading doors. This was definitely not made for the PS4, or any other console besides the PS5. Oh yeah, and this is apparently less lethal than the Killing Curse. This is the Wizarding World game we've all been waiting for. And I would play more of this game, but I would have to get my own copy at this point because I think I hogged my local library's copy for way too long. Bye, Hogwarts Legacy. You were fun. It's gone. At least try to find it at your local secondhand store or from your local library like I did. It is really simple not to give her money straight to her turf wallet. That sounds like a euphemism, but I she's a TERF and she has a wallet with money in it. Yeah. You know what I'm saying. And yeah, that is it. 10 Harry Potter video games. And every prop that I have used that has been official, like my Noble Collection ones and my book. My books are mostly secondhand. Noble Collection I bought way before all this controversy happened. And I will not be buying any more official merch. So, anyway, I love Harry Potter, and I believe it belongs to the community now. Thank you, bye.
A guy in that bar declared himself as a Nazi. I have it on film, and he attacked me.
Disclaimer. This video is made for entertainment purposes only. I do not own this content, nor do I intend any copyright infringement. Please support the original creators and watch Robot Revolution in its entirety where available. It might be a surprise to all of you, but I am indeed a maple syrup drinking, hockey playing, riding a moose to school in the morning Canadian.
Yeah, I just love living in Canada.
Just kidding. I've never played hockey. And the one thing you will find a plethora of in any town in the country is a gold mine of a store. Dollarama is one of those stores that has everything you'll ever need on a budget. It's a grocery store, a craft store, a bookstore. You can find cheap cleaning products here or face creams and shampoo. I mean, I wouldn't really recommend them because it's a dollar store and your face might shrivel up and die. But on the bright side, you can find cheap Lego here sometimes.
Nobody wants this Lego, huh?
And over where they keep the cheap phone chargers, headphones, clocks, and Fortnite figures that no one wants, you'll find some really cheap and low-budget movies. Movies both cheap in price and in production. And the movie I'm talking about today for this Halloween video is Robot Revolution: Machines Will Rise. Robot Revolution is a very low-budget indie film directed by Andrew Bellaware and released in 2015. And by looking at this cover, you would assume it's a kick-ass Terminator-like ripoff where a sentient AI takes over and this android superhero has to come and save the day. But nope, we get claustrophobic hallways and stairwells. But I'm not gonna say anymore, let's just watch this masterpiece of a movie, shall we? And as we start the disc up, we get a couple trailers for some other low-budget movies. Dark Space, Disaster Wars, Earthquake vs. Tsunami, and Starship Rising. Dark Space and Starship Rising look fucking awesome. Even though if you mash both of the trailers together, you wouldn't be able to tell the difference between the two movies.
I grew up in the twilight of the great empire.
We oppose this ridiculous war against the Terra Nostra.
The Federation flourished, and the people were censored.
You people are nothing but warmongers.
And a new order would soon rise.
Old Earth is to be vaporized. There's no more time for discussion.
At 2300 hours, we strike.
And excuse me? Earthquake vs. Tsunami. Oh my god, forget about Robot Revolution. I want to watch this masterpiece. I mean, I also use those green screen effects and explosions. The ultimate battle of land and sea. What am I watching a trailer for? Pokemon Ruby and Sapphire? Like, is Groudon and Kyogre gonna come out of the ground? Finally, here we are. Robot Revolution: The Machines Will Rise. It was produced by Still Night Monster Movies, so yes, it was supposed to be a horror movie. Happy Halloween, everybody! Then the next studio logo is for Pandora Machine, but the logo is just this naked lady with a gun. So what exactly is the story here? In a not too distant future, every aspect of society is controlled by machines, and rampant terrorism has forced the state into martial law. While performing a routine check in a high-rise apartment building, a well-armed police officer and their android partner discover that something is causing the building's residents to malfunction, forcing them to fight their way out. Also, everyone in this universe at adulthood are legally bound to have an ID chip installed into their heads, so the ruthless police can easily identify them. So the movie starts with this lady talking down to us with a book light for some reason.
Back online.
Where am I?
You don't remember?
No, I do not remember anything. Anything since.
It's side effects of the decontamination process.
Ugh, this gray static. I can't. You'll be seeing this gray haze for most of the movie because it's supposed to take place from the perspective of the main android. So prepare to see this gray screen for the majority of the movie. Anyway, after flying through some Nintendo 64 graphics, we meet the human main character named Constable Hawkins, played by Virginia Logan, along with her android partner Argus, who's played by either Walter Barney Barnes or Chance Shirley. I have no clue which one. It just says in the credits that these two play the android characters, so I'm assuming it's both. Hawkins is by far my favorite part of this movie. She's a badass cop with an eye patch who doesn't take shit from anyone.
Shut up.
If someone doesn't cosplay as her for the next Comic-Con, I'm actually gonna riot. You know what? I'll cosplay as her right now. There. And now we cut to the best CGI in the movie. Because, you know, if something is completely dark and you can barely see it, it looks real. She gives Argus a little upgrade, then gives us some very light foreshadowing.
Are you comfortable working with androids?
Yeah, they're generally reliable when they're not getting short-circuited, dismantled, or hacked.
Humans can also be hacked.
So they slowly walk around the apartment building for about a minute of the runtime with nothing else happening besides android walking sound effects. Jesus Christ, this movie's actually dangerous. Then this woman named Lisa and her son Carl confront the landlord about some noisy cleaning robot. The dialogue in this scene is just priceless.
How many times do we have to complain about the noise?
You know, the only noise I hear is...
After the woman and her son leave, Argus assaults the landlord for the answers they need.
513. Number 513.
Thank you, citizen. Try not to kill too many civilians before our shift is up.
Huh?
My serve and protect protocols are up to date.
Serve and protect protocols, my crack. They're actually looking for someone named Vic Richmond, who's been apparently making a weapon for a known terrorist named Damien Raw. But it says in the synopsis that it's a routine check. This seems more like an investigation to me. This next scene really confuses me. After a bit more walking and the most realistic shot of a generic city I've ever did see, we cut to these people playing poker with balls in a stairwell.
Doesn't matter.
Son of a... Were you bluffing?
Stops.